ਹਰ ਹਫਤੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਬਖਸ਼ਦੇ ਆ ਬਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਨੂੰ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਬਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਮਾਣ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਦੋਸਤ ਆ, ਮੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਵੀ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਆ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਦੋਸਤ ਆ, ਤੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟਰੱਕਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਾ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਾਣੂ ਆ। ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਪੰਜਾਬ TV। ਤੇ ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ ਮੇਰਾ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਗੈਸਟ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਐਲਕ ਕਲੌਕ। ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਸੋਇਲਸ ਦਾ ਮਾਲਕ। ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹੋਗੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਸੋਇਲਸ ਆ? ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਸੋਇਲਸ ਸਟੋਵਿਲ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਪਿੱਟ ਆ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਗ੍ਰੈਵਲ ਪਿੱਟ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਮਿਲਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੀ ਪਿੱਟ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਡਾਊਨਟਾਊਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪੱਟਿਆ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਭਰਿਆ, ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਾਂ ਖੜੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਆ। Alec, welcome to Punjab TV and the Binder Singh Show.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing today?
I'm good, I'm good.
So Alec, you always born Canadian?
Yep. Born in Hamilton.
Born in Hamilton?
Raised in Etobicoke.
Etobicoke.
Yeah.
I was raised in Etobicoke too.
Were you?
I loved
Good.
it. Yeah,
Good,
it's
man.
the best place. So tell me about yourself, Alec.
I started my business after working for a large general contractor for KVN Construction for 17 years. I started a trucking company called United Independent Operators in 1987, and here I am, the oldest man in the industry right now.
So basically, you have that designation now as the oldest guy. The bald guy, right?
Yeah, the old bald guy.
Ganja sir, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, Alec.
That's why it's me that does a lot of the talking, because everybody else is still out trying to earn a living, which is the right way. It's supporting their family.
That's right.
I can take the time to sort of represent the guys, and that's what I do.
Okay, Alec. When you were young and you had hair and everything, and you were running the trucking company after university or college.
Yep.
What are the biggest significance and what are the biggest changes from the industry from then and now? Like, what do you see through your journey?
The quality of the equipment is drastically improved. Drastically.
Okay.
15 years ago, some of the equipment that's going up and down the road 20 years ago, 30 years ago, was kind of rough.
Right.
But now with the penalties, with the nature of the business as far as inspections and things like that go, the whole industry has had to step up. If you take a look at the trucks on the road today, they're all in good shape, well maintained. So.
Okay. So through your trucking company, how did you end up being the owner of one of I think Ontario's largest it's a gravel site, we call it, right?
Yeah. The site that I have now is a clean fill site.
Okay.
I was filling it to satisfy the needs of the Ministry of Natural Resources.
Right.
It was 2 gravel pits that were coming to an end, and you have to soften the slopes and make it safe for kids and animals. Snowmobilers, horseback riders, things like that. You can't just leave it a straight down cliff. So I started doing that in 2007. In 2010, I said, well, why don't we just fill this right to the brim? The dirt has to go someplace. It's going to go to a controlled environment if we do it, together with a town, or it's going to be sprayed all over the place, which that still happens today, in an uncontrolled fashion. It ends up in farm fields because the farmer wants to make a bunch of money.
That's right.
So the wrong dirt ends up beside a creek and goes into the water. There's lots of stories of bad stuff happening. So they come to us. We service the high-rise industry in downtown Toronto.
Right.
We took most of the dirt from Crosslinks, the latest subway extension on Eglinton Avenue.
Eglinton,
Yeah. We expect to take a lot of the dirt that's coming off these 2 tunnel jobs that are coming up. So it's in a controlled environment. It's got controlled hours of work, controlled speed limits, very much controlled quality of dirt that's allowed. And the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Ministry of the Environment have really stepped up as far as being strict, and we satisfy that need for the developers. We do about between 500 and 600 loads every day.
Oh wow! When was your first interaction with the so-called Punjabi community, the South Asian community?
Well, I have a trucking company that has 150 individuals working for it. Okay. It's the trucking company since 1988, and when I first started, I was dealing with true Canadians, born Canadians.
Yeah.
Then we went to Italians,
Portuguese,
Jamaican,
okay,
Greek.
Right.
15 years ago, it started becoming East Asian,
okay,
and it will stay like that for a long, long time.
Why do you say that?
Because first of all, they're known as truckers. You take a look at the city of Brampton, it's known as the trucking hub for all of Canada.
Okay.
Right?
Now, is that just you saying that, or is that...
No, that's a fact.
That's a fact?
That's a fact.
Okay, can you elaborate on that fact?
First of all you have to do is you can sight, just by sight.
Okay.
Stand at my property and watch who's coming in, and it's the East Asians.
So majority, when they come to your pit?
Yep.
Okay, so your pit opens what, 6 in the morning, I think it is? Okay, 6 to what?
7.
6 to 7.
Yep.
How many trucks do you go through a day?
600.
600 trucks?
Yeah.
And is that like
600 loads. You got to remember.
600 loads, okay.
It could be the same guy coming from the city of Toronto 4 times.
Okay.
So it's probably between 125 and 170 separate individuals
right?
every day, 5 days a week.
So let's talk numbers on that.
Okay.
ਕਿੰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੱਕਦੇ ਆ, meaning how much material goes out and ਕਿੰਨਾ material ਅੰਦਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ, how much comes in and how much goes out?
Okay. The 2 gravel pits have now expired, so everything is coming in.
So basically you're filling the facility.
I'm filling it to take it back to the natural farmland that gave up its life to be a gravel pit.
Okay.
In 1954. That farm and its materials built the Don Valley Parkway.
Wow.
It built Yorkdale. It built all the highways around, all the subdivision, Don Mills. Okay, it's been there like 60, 70 years, right?
Wow.
Now, it ends up being just a big crater in the earth.
Right.
So now we're taking it back to the engineers' drawings of the original when they started taking the first gravel out of the hole.
So
We have 17 million meters of airspace left. I started it with 22 million meters.
wow.
It's a big hole.
I know it's a big one. I've seen
so-
it.
Yeah.
And then so how long will it take to fill that hole?
About 18 years.
So we have 8 ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ 18 ਸਾਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਐਲਕ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਟ ਤੇ. So 18 years.
Yep.
And that's like 6 days a week?
5.
5 days a week.
See, that's the difference between having it controlled.
Okay.
Okay?
Elaborate on that.
You gotta
Control.
remember,
ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੈ?
there's the traveling public,
Yes.
right? Our business is coming in during working hours. So the public is exposed to us as we're coming to work. They're driving past us.
Yes.
They go to work someplace for the day. So they're exposed to us as travelers in cars first thing in the morning and then when they're coming home at night. Other than that, we're in an area that there's not that much traffic.
Right.
We're on a year-round road,
Okay.
no half loads. But
You're 12 months a year?
yeah.
Full-fledged.
Again, that's the difference.
Exactly. That's why I'm
You get to do that only, we're fortunate because our airspace is large. Our airspace is large. We're going to be there a total of 25 years.
yes.
That way you can afford to put in a truck wash, which you've seen.
Yes.
You can afford to put in a truck shaker where you drive over it and it shakes the...
Yes.
Okay? And you can do certain things like that. If you have like a farm field or just a small site that you see a lot of people trying to get to, first of all, it isn't open. They don't have 3 sweepers on the road every day. They don't have all these things I just mentioned. So it's different.
What municipal bylaws or Ontario road bylaws do you guys have to follow?
I have to
And,
follow-
Like you as the business, the United Soils, and then how do you deal with the trucking industry?
Okay.
Like all these truckers that come there. So there's a big there's a big conflict. You know what I mean? Always. So then, how does the pit work with the truckers?
Okay. The pit works with the truckers and works with the town. I legitimately can only control the behavior of the truckers while they're on my property.
Okay.
Like I can't be responsible for what they're doing 2 miles away as they're coming to me.
Right.
Or 3 miles away as they're leaving.
Okay.
But we try to. And we remind the truckers that we are part of a community. And as long as they want us to be there, which is to their benefit, they got to sort of behave themselves. We are on a road that is 60 kilometers speed limit.
Right.
Now we have big, huge, heavy trucks, which the public in general terms doesn't like.
Yes.
So our speed limit on the road is 40. We have radar of our own. And we caution the people that are going too fast. It takes an extra 19 seconds to get from the main intersection along the road to my pit to where you check in. It takes 19 seconds longer
Right.
to go 40 kilometers than 60 kilometers. All the neighbors know that we do that, and it makes it a little bit easier. okay,
Yes.
with the public. Because you got to remember, we're part of the community. We also help out the community with a children's program that we have up there. So.
Yes, I was going to get to that. The community service that you do is unbelievable, and I commend you for that. Like, it's unbelievable. So, can you elaborate to the audience about some of the volunteering you do?
We are in a town. We're bringing 600 loads in, 600 empty trucks leaving.
Yes.
It's dusty, it's dirty, it's noisy, it's whatever, okay? And the general traveling public doesn't always like it.
Yes.
So, I'm never going to win the hearts and minds of the adults. So I'll win the hearts and minds of their kids.
Of the children, yes.
Okay? I now have 1,600 members, children.
Yes.
We spend almost $500,000 a year giving back to that community, to the children.
Wow, fabulous.
And
Fabulous.
it makes me feel good, okay?
Yes.
It makes the truckers feel good because they're seeing what we're doing. We have a big, huge park there. You've been to our park.
Yes, beautiful.
So we had a picnic there.
Yeah,
so.
you had the Ontario Aggregate Truckers, and
Yeah,
yourself had the big mela, everything.
Yeah.
And I was very good. Too bad COVID showed
And
up.
it's worth it to me, and it's
Okay,
worth
why
it
is it
to
worth
the town.
it? Why is it worth it to you?
Okay, first of all, it makes me feel good.
Okay.
Because it's for kids.
Yes.
It's good business, okay? You see there isn't a major corporation in the world that isn't giving to some hospital or something like that. But we do that also. We support the local hospitals. We support the Lake Simcoe Conservation Authority.
Yes, yes.
We support the libraries. Anything that we're doing is based on, we have scholarships for high school kids.
Wow, fabulous.
It's all aimed at children and a better life for kids, either through education or entertainment. So
somebody.
but again,
Yes.
we're fortunate. We have a large hole. It isn't a small farm field. We're not going to fill that hole up from July till October and then just go away.
Right.
So you can afford to do these things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you're going to see other communities start these up.
All right. Okay.
We're the first, so.
You're the first, but what about your own union, like your own association of pits? How do you guys see the future of the industry? Where is construction going? Where is the development of Ontario going? Like your internal meetings when you deal with
Yeah.
Lafarge and all the other pits, or some
Yeah.
of the people like Aurelia, whatever. Like I think I don't even know how many pits there are now, right? But that's a very controlled industry.
Yep.
And then so what do you guys see as in the future of Ontario?
First of all, let's take that answer in respect to trucking.
Okay.
The trucking is going to become more and more important because as these quarries end their life,
Yes.
they're going further and further away. They're going up north.
Yes.
They're getting into Aurelia.
Yes.
They're getting up to Burnt River now. We
Yes.
have
Yes.
support, okay? So the relationship between these people and the relationship between the trucker and them is more and more important year after year after year, which is nice to see what Jag Group is doing with his magazine.
Yes.
He's melding these two groups together,
Together,
the
yes.
trucker and the user of the truck.
Yes.
And that's why it's been important to me with this business, what we're doing with our problem with Carolyn Mulrooney. We have a ton of support from that.
One second, we'll just hold there. ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਟਰੱਕਿੰਗ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਡੰਪਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ 10 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਂਪਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ 5th ਵੀਲ ਮਤਲਬ ਲਵਾਉਣਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਰਚਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ 25 30 35 ਹਜ਼ਾਰ ਤਾਈਂ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਟਰੱਕਿੰਗ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਆ ਉਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਠੇਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਂਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਪੱਖ ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ So Alex, now let's talk about that whole axle issue, the weight issue.
Okay.
We got, we'll get to the minister and the government and where And one side they say we gave you 10 years.
Yeah.
The previous Liberal government, right? So
Yeah.
we gave you 10 years, and now the current government, the PCs, said, okay, we've given you a year exemption, but yet we still have a problem.
That's right.
So what
Nobody-
is
nobody
the
gave
problem?
anybody- nobody. That's a false statement.
Okay,
that they
explain.
gave us 10 years.
Yes, explain that.
In 2009, they started this process
Gee.
about coming up with a better axle to protect the roads. And granted, that's what's needed. We had straight axles, lift axles. Everybody had a switch in their truck.
Yes.
And that switch was either not being used at the right time, or it was hurting the truck because the axle was straight and we're scuffing asphalt and ruining the roads as we're going through intersections and turning.
Right.
Okay? People were leaving their lift axle up when they shouldn't be.
Yes.
So they wanted to take some of that control away from the driver and put it on something that worked automatically. Well, today, great principle, perfect. Today it doesn't work yet, and we have everybody driving around with secret switches in their truck because it's unsafe, okay?
Okay.
Which is unfortunate. I'm going to tell you why it's unfortunate.
Okay.
Ontario is the hub of our country,
Yes.
the most important province by far. Its infrastructure is being built by these truckers. We're the
100%.
main part. Everything that you see up in the air, the truck was there first.
100%.
Okay? We now have this infrastructure being built by a trucking industry that has no insurance. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
If you are given a piece of equipment and it doesn't work and the driver feels that it's unsafe, which is the status of what we're at right now, that man puts a switch in his truck to operate that lift axle the way it shouldn't be.
Right.
That thing should be staying down.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
That man effectively has no insurance. If he gets into an accident, somebody gets hurt, or there's a major collision, and that piece of equipment gets towed to a yard and gets inspected, and they see that switch in there, there's no insurance. None. Is that a situation that we should be building our infrastructure with?
No.
That's not fair to the guy that's gone out and bought a brand new truck.
Yes.
And that's how everybody has fixed this problem. Everybody says, okay, you've had 10 years, you could fix this and fix. Nobody fixed anything. They just went and bought a new truck. Since 2011, they all had spiff.
Okay.
But the MTO knows that the current spiff does not work right yet. These trucks go on and off asphalt. They come to my yard and they travel through muddy conditions in certain times of the year or after it rains. That traveling through there sometimes screws up the way the thing works, okay? And when that piece of equipment, that axle that's supposed to is self-steering and yanks itself around the corner, sometimes it doesn't. I've got a couple of friends in the paving business. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing all this? I mean, that's the safe way to go. I said, okay, go out and stand out in your yard and you watch. The man has gone out and stand out in his yard. I'm delivering salt to his paving company.
Right. Right.
The man gets there with a loaded truck
Yes.
to get into his yard. He turns to go in, and the truck doesn't turn. It goes straight because there's too much weight on that axle, and there's not enough weight on the steering axle.
Right.
Well, that's dangerous. And there's a bunch of videos out there that people have all seen where the trucks are going down the highways and they're going all over the place.
Yes.
Like, why should we live with that situation?
We'll
Okay?
get back to that spiff. ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜੀ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਉਣੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਗਲਾ ਪਾਰਟ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਸਪਿਫ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਚੱਕਰ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੂੰਗੇ ਆਉਣੇ ਆ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ